So anyway, after I find out about what jungle juice is, jungle juice, I'm like, I want to try. I want to try some, and they're like, "No, Master Sir, you can't." Why not? I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't say it like that. I said, "Why not?" And they said, "Well, sir, you're in command, and you're too young." Anyway, sorry about that. I forget exactly what he said, but he sounded like a black guy and like really straight. And he doesn't sound like a good guy actually. I actually kind of like some black men. They were cool. Like, no sir, you can't. And I was like, oh, fine, whatever. I can invent supersonic jets and jet engines, but I can't have some jungle juice. Jungle juice? Like, well, sir, it's pretty potent, sir. Not for the faint of heart or something like that. Anyway, they tell me they tell me everything about it, and I'm like, oh, well, that explains a lot. Okay. Anyway, so after I find out, anyway, and the Germans, of course, do a report on jungle juice, and I find out even more about jungle juice, and also the Germans are doing investigations and everything. I'm like, oh, accident. Anyway, whatever. Anyway, and there's photographs and there's pictures. Like after they leave, like a forensic team just basically goes. See, a helicopter goes, and they load up everyone. And then days later, and people with little suitcases and basically, you know, when they get back to the base, it's like, and now I want you to write down what happened. And we are going to go through all your belongings. Everything on the back, on the tables, now. And they had to empty out all their stuff. And one of them still had the canteen. And he didn't quite rinse it out, and so so the canteens all went to the lab. It's positive for hallucinogens, yes, and other things. I'm like, oh, okay, so it is jungle, and they're like, it's jungle juice, or whatever. Actually, they said hallucinogens, and the Germans are always very specific with me. Anyway, so then they're like. And there's like 500 pictures of the whole place. They took a picture of everything. And they even found shell casings. Like, shell casings were located here, so. And here's the bodies. And bullet holes here and here and here. Entrance was from the back, from the rear, and exit out the front. Yes, so. And everything was examined. And basically, they took pictures of everything, and they're like, and yes, the last looks like they fired here, and you can tell this from the way the gun mounted swiveled in the dirt. The last three positions look like from the side, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it's very specific. There's this huge report, and probably labeled national security and top secret. Anyway, though, they're civilian contractors, and they're using old military hardware that was basically lent to them, and they were just training or whatever, messing around. I forget what they were doing with the cannon or whatever. I was doing some sort of experiment or something like that, or something, and I don't know. Anyway, they ended up firing at someone or something. Or they were shooting some old military gear. There's some old military trucks or something like that. And then basically, what happened was three of the Viet Cong people or someone had run. They didn't. They were hung up on the fence, but they weren't coming into the camp. They were going out of the camp. So it was really suspicious, and they were shot in the back. So they were shot in the back, and they were shot as they were running away from the camp, basically. And then they fell, and they like crawled. I don't know. Maybe they were out of. I don't know. I forget what the toxicology level of the body was. I think they were silver. I'm not exactly sure though. They might have been high. I don't know. I forget the details actually. I forget a lot of the details. I just remember they were shot in the back, 3 holes in one, and another one, and there's a blood trail too as well. You could see a blood trail, and it looked like one of them had been thrown onto the fence. Like one of them definitely ran into the fence and was shot, and another one was thrown into the fence because he had no cuts on him. He just kind of landed, and so he learned how to fly for like 3 feet before, and then they suffered no cuts. Where the other one definitely jumped into the fence and then tried to crawl underneath, tried to get across the fence. But it was like a 6 or 7 feet or 8 foot fence or something like that. barbed wire, and there's no way you're going to get through there without getting all cut up. So anyway, something fishy went down, basically. Anyway, I think they told the story that one of them, or I don't know. Anyway, girls were always involved. Women were always involved, and it's hard to say what happened exactly. So anyway, somebody said one of them went nuts. I don't really remember the details. Like, you'd have to look it up. There's reports on every time anyone got shot in Vietnam, there's a report on it in the Pentagon. So, and also a report with Germany. You can either look in the Pentagon, or you can look in Germany, and maybe in Britain. Like, I always did cross-referencing. Or in China. You can look in Germany, China, or Britain, or the Pentagon. Every site, every time anyone died, I had at least 3 agencies investigate. From World War I to Vietnam to any incursion, anytime anyone died, I had 3 agencies always investigate. That's how we got JFK and Jimmy Carter. I was actually looking for JFK and Jimmy Carter, but I found all these other people like, that's just weird. Okay, whatever. Anyway, so but I was actually looking for JFK and Jimmy Carter and Richard Nixon. That's who I was looking for. But anyway, whatever. Anyway, but yeah, jungle juice, man. And sometimes I don't know. Anyway, though, I mean, everyone. It depended on who made the jungle juice too. Like, some people put a lot. Like, yeah, man, put some more, man. And some people didn't put all that much, just enough to give you a little, get the effect. So the jungle juice varied wide variety. And there's films on it. Just look it up. Jungle Juice Vietnam. There's films, and we'll watch it. It's kind of like this purplish reddish stuff, and they'll be making it. And like, I think they boil a plant or something. I don't know. It's like this reddish juice, and they pour lots of sugar, and lots of other stuff. And it's like this concoction, man. Anyway, yeah, I was like, okay, so that explains it. Anyway, though, but there's lots of money around. There's drugs. There's cocaine. There's LSD. There's methamphetamine. There's opium. There's, in Vietnam, you want it, you got it. You could even get fine purses. You can even order a car. Like, whatever you want in Vietnam, it's there somewhere. Anyway, there's hookup guys all over the place. Anyway, so. But yeah, I investigated. Or I had them investigated. Because I was like, what is going on at these sites? Why are these people dying? So. It was just a road. And they're talking about explosives, and they're talking about this, and talking about that, and anyway, I don't know. It's like, I don't know, it's almost, I mean, I can only say that maybe Nixon, JFK, like, they weren't really a part of the government. They were never really president, more than they made some films showing that they had been in front of the White House. JFK made this movie, or made this show called, Chronicles of the President, or something like that. He made a little TV show where he showed himself being president, and they went into, because you could go into the White House back in the old days, and you could actually sit behind the desk and even look out the window, and they were filming a movie inside of my White House. So all the photographs are mostly inside my White House. You know, they're not even supposed to be there. So anyway, they're just filming a movie or something like that, and it was college or whatever. Anyway, they just skimmed a bunch of money from Vietnam, and a bunch of drug money and a bunch of other stuff, and then pretended to be the president or some thing of power, and then just played it on the TVs until people believed it. Anyway, but there's also carpet bombing of Germany and all kinds of stuff. There was a huge war and stuff. Like I said, I was the leader of Germany. I owned it outright. And somebody was saying Adolf Hitler or Adolf something. I mean, Adolf Hitler was a person, but the Adolf Hitler that everyone's thinking of is basically a black Adolf Hitler. He's not white. You know, they just paid a white guy to pose for him. Anyway, that's another thing that we found out. A bunch of kids were having a bunch of older people take pictures in uniforms for them. So, Anyway, it took me a little while to figure it all out, or figure everything out.